The Shimano Bantam, a piece of Shimano bass fishing heritage and lore. And new for 2022, the new Shimano Bantam A. That's right, it's been a few years, but we have a new Bantam. This is the Bantam A replacing the Shimano Bantam MGL. I've been testing this out over the last 6 to 8 weeks and wanted to do a quick review of it, throwing it on a G Loomis NRX Plus Carolina rig rod, primarily throwing it around with light jigs, little football heads, things of that nature. Also gave it quite a bit of testing on my G Loomis IMX Pro bladed jig rod. And let me tell you, this reel is sweet. Now let me start off by saying I am not the high-end guy that you come to for reviews and whatnot. I'll give you my opinions. If you're looking for in-depth, total geek out on high-end reels like this, Punch Fishing is your guy. But I've been playing this for the last several weeks for some product testing I was doing for Do It Molds, and this thing is a solid workhorse. If you're a Shimano fanboy, or if you are looking for a reel that is built like a tank, this Bantam is your go-to. Yeah, it's probably an ounce heavier than most low-profile reels in this price range, but you are not going to find another reel with a solid core body like this one. And I mean one big solid piece of aluminum, or Shimano calls it Hagane. This reel is actually a perfect blend of strength and castability. Perfect in my opinion for pitching jigs, but also for bombing long casts if that's what you need to do. Now let's go back a little bit into the Bantam's history, which is kind of funny. Did you know that Shimano used to make reels, BB1s, for Lou's, aka Lou Childrett, back in the 70s? Yep, Lou Childrett actually contracted Shimano with his first line of reels. Shimano built all of his reels, and as you can see in these pictures here, the first BB1, the BB1 construction and frame, was a collaboration between Lou and Shimano. Now, Shimano was notorious back in the day, like many Japanese factories, and kind of like what we see with Chinese factories today. They would copy someone else's designs and then put it out with their own name on it, sell it locally in Japan. So it's kind of funny when you see a kind of bougie crowd who's always talking about one brand over another. Well, those two brands were, well, they're literally married in the late 70s after Lou ended his contract with Shimano for copying his reels. They kind of went on a hunt to design and create something of their own. So they actually sent engineers over to the United States and conducted a year-long study of American bass angler. Because, you know, America is the bass fishing capital of the world. So they took their data back to Shimano, started with the BB1 platform, and built their own reel, which they called the Bantam. It was their first low-profile bait casting reel. And from there, well, as we say, history was made. Bantam became a flagship of Shimano over several decades. Now, if you're looking for all the deep nerdy stuff, I highly advise you go watch JP DeRosa's breakdown of this reel. He's a Shimano Loomis guy, knows this stuff, been fishing with it for years. Me, I'm just a guy who throws a little bit of everything. Now, I will say, pitching baits with this thing is amazing. I mean, it just is super solid. If you were using this for frogging, pitching, just hauling fish out of deep, heavy stuff, you're gonna love it. And I was throwing 3/8 ounce jackhammers for what seemed like a mile. This reel is phenomenal, but again, it's a $350 price point reel. So what other reels do you think of at this price point? Well, you've got the new Daiwa Zillion, my absolute favorite at this price point. And you also have the Lew's Pro TI, which is another one of my favorite reels to throw around. I love throwing stupid tubes on that thing. If you want a solid reel for pitching, punching, frogging, heavy duty, you might want to give this Shimano MGL A look. For me, there's one reason I cannot keep this reel, and it's just a hang up for me. It might be different. I suggest if you are interested in this reel, you put it in your hand and see for yourself. There is only one, and I hate it because I really love this reel. There's only one flaw for me that I cannot use this reel. That little ridge right there, whenever I go to push down the spool and make a long cast and I'm thumbing the spool, that little section right there rubs on my thumb. And I literally gave myself a blister one day while throwing a jackhammer. Now, I got little fat sausage thumbs. The people on the R&D team who might have been product testing this might have thumbs that are a whole lot skinnier and longer than mine. But for me, the way my hand is built, I just cannot keep casting this thing or it gives me a blister. It's the only downfall I have with this reel. Oh, it makes me so sad because it is so nice. But no, this is going to go back to AmericanLegacyFishing.com. And if that's not where you're getting all your rods and reels, you're missing out, guys. Be sure to use code GRAMPS10 at checkout and save 10% on most items. Have you fished one of these new Shimano Bantam MGLAs? Woo! Drop me a comment down below. Tell me what you think. Or let me know if you ran into the same issue I did. Until next time, get outside when you can and make some memories. One cast at a time.